Hello, I think I'm live now. tbcr here with a fine quality speed run. Well, I can't say fine quality, it's not the usual caliber of speed runs that I'm known for. This is a quality speed run. And this is Rise of the Triad Dark War. This is a game that came out in 1995, developed and published by Apogee. It's, I think, their last title before they turned into 3D Realms. I may be wrong about that. But this is a game that's on the Wolfenstein 3D engine, and it won't be apparent. Well, it'll be somewhat apparent when we get started, but I know there's a lot to talk about and really not a lot of time to talk about it, so let's just get going. So I'm going to erase a game. Value. Okay. We're going to play as Lorelei. They are the fastest character, but they are also the weakest character. That's kind of a trade-off. It's an understandable trade-off, fastest character, weakest, But doesn't matter because we'll be going so fast that the damage won't really matter. So, and we're gonna start in 3, 2. No, not that difficulty. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So, as you can see, this is definitely, upon first glance, somewhat based off the Wolfenstein 3D engine. 90-degree corners. There are obviously enemies. They're kind of the same height as me. There are floating things in the air, and there are jumping things as well. And I kind of ran into a wall, because the turning in this game is very weird. Alright. Anyway. Now we're in level 2, and I quick saved because this opening section I sometimes die on. But we just picked up a power-up called Mercury Mode, and it's going to let us fly through a lot of the things in this level. We're also going to couple that with the bulletproof armor and the MP40. Fun fact, this game was originally supposed to be a sequel to Wolfenstein. Obviously titled Wolfenstein Part 2 Rise of the Triad. Obviously it kind of backed out on that, and it became the game you were looking at today. So, I have to be careful around certain enemies, especially the one I just killed before that last one. They can take your armor, and they can also take your rockets, if you have any rocket weapons at the time, so I have to be a bit careful. Luckily with the armor, if they take it and I pick it up again, it replenishes the armor. Alright, so we're almost at the end of level 2, and we're done with level 2 actually. Level 3 introduces an enemy that likes to shoot nets, and fun fact, I've not restarted this game before I started my run. That's relevant because there's an interesting little thing where there's a knife in this level. If you pick up the knife, you can get out of the nets that they shoot. If you don't have the knife, you're kind of a sitting duck. But the weird thing is that knife kind of transitions between each playthrough of the game until you exit. So as a bit of a courtesy, I'm just going to pick the knife up right there, just to make it seem like we picked it up to begin with. Okay. We're almost done with this level. Notice I'm not really talking about the levels themselves as much. These first couple of levels are pretty straightforward. I'm now going to be quiet because this is kind of a tricky section. Come on! Oh, that's the good stuff right there. So, a lot of enemies shooting at me, and I have to maneuver in certain ways to kind of avoid as much fire as possible. But now we get to the adorable section of the game. How can a game with this much violence be adorable? Let me tell you, there's dogs in this. There's a dog right there. And in addition to being absolutely adorable, you can be mauling your enemies, still looking adorable. Jumping while looking adorable. Did I mention being adorable? That is a very positive of dog mode. Because as you know, dog is God spelled backwards. So you also get vulnerability as well. Okay. So just strafing, kind of. I'm doing strafe turns while I'm turning because it, A, speeds it up, and B, makes it a bit easier to make said turns. Alright. That level's done. And now we get to talk about why there's no music playing in the game. This is 2 key return. This introduces elevators, and funny thing about elevators, this game if you look at the source code that's available on GitHub that Apogee released sometime around the early 2000s, you'll note that there is a 1 in 10 chance of getting arbitrary time loss in this. I'm not even joking. So the arbitrary time loss is elevator music. It takes 20 seconds for that music to complete. And if you're on a level with a lot of elevators, it can take upwards to a full minute of time loss on a level if you have music on. So I have music off, even though the music is a banger, let me tell you. You should definitely check out the music by Lee Jackson and Bobby Prince after this run, or whenever you want, because it is the good stuff. But yeah, having the music off saves a lot of time in the run. So now we're heading into a part with a lot of turns, and I pick up a bulletproof armor just because coming out of this section is going to be a bit of a pain. Oh, there's 2 enemies there. That's kind of a first for me. Alright, so this entire section, other than the 2 walls that are at the ends, is entirely made of objects. So this is pretty interesting how they can get around room over room with just objects in the game. Oh no, I love the OST. It's just, I understand that if I want to get this run definitely under the estimate, I have to have it off. Okay. So now we're going to finish up the level with dog mode again. If you have bulletproof armor, enough bulletproof armor, meaning you didn't get snagged up, or the enemy picked your armor and then you got it back, you can actually finish it with just the bulletproof armor. Kind of missed an interesting thing where I could actually get caught under an enemy and then shorten my jump there, which is technically a bit quicker, but is kind of luck-based. Alright, this episode has a lot of springs, as you can tell. It's like their best idea. Let's put a bunch of trampolines in the ground. Nothing bad will happen. Not a single thing. Gonna pick up some safety health just because that's kind of getting yikes territory. Alright. Gonna strafe pretty good right there so I can open up that section. A lot of enemies get crushed to death. You can also get crushed in columns, fun fact. Could be an example of that later. Did I not pick up the flame wall? Okay, we're just winging it. We're just winging it. This was not planned. Okay. So, yeah, a lot of the game is just knowing where to go. Well, obviously knowing where to go. Expertly strafing around things. Knowing when to blow things to bits. Which, this game is known for being incredibly violent, but I turned down the violent level to the second to first options. And being very absurd. You'll see the absurd later. But now we're on the first boss. This is General Darian. And I'm going to do it a bit differently than how Rip Chip does it. Where I'm going to actually destroy both of these at the same time. And then come over here. There we go. Finish the boss. Nothing really to write home about. Pretty straightforward. Alright, now we begin second episode, first level. This introduces 2 enemies, and we also do dog mode again. Whoa, okay. Let's properly do that. This introduces 2 enemies. One that rolls around when you start to shoot at them, and Triad Enforcers. Can you guess which of those 2 enemies I hate the most? If you guess Triad Enforcers, you have won the prize, and the prize is you got it right. Triad Enforcers are big enemies. They like to throw grenades at you. They take a lot of health, or they have a lot of health. They take a long time to kill unless you have 2 direct bazooka blasts. Specifically bazooka blasts. And they're just annoying. Alright, but we're done with that level. That level was more Wolfenstein 3D than any other level, let's be honest. That and backfire later on. But now we're in this level, and there's been a significant amount of changes for this one. I now pick up this asbestos armor just because it makes doing the second part of this level a heck of a lot easier. Gonna head over here and see, we don't have to fly up, we can just run straight forward and do that. Okay, so now we can head into this section. Now the downside is this asbestos armor does not protect against bullets. And I got hit pretty bad right there, but luckily we can head to the exit now. I should be saving a lot because this level is prone to crash. Specifically in that last area that I was in. Okay. Come on. There we go. A lot of strafing between things. There's a lot of pits in the ground below, so that's why I took the high road. Okay. And now we head into the best room to make a joke about a movie that some person made. It's the room. Okay, I better not do that. I will hate myself if I did that. Okay. I didn't do that. Alright, I just want to time that so I didn't pick up that drunk missile there. Okay, so this entire level, if you make any mistake, it is your mistake and your mistake alone because there are no enemies on this difficulty in this map. So it is literally your fault if you mess up. But luckily, we are not messing up, and that is the good stuff right there. Let's not run into corners, though. Okay. And we're done with that level. Now we're heading into the worst level, at least in the first half of it. Spiraling In has a lot of flamey bits. It also has a lot of bullet bits as well. And a lot of trampoline bits, except it's only one trampoline bit. But we had to pick up the bulletproof armors, which isn't actually going to help us in what we're about to do, but it protects us from getting obliterated by bullets getting to said thing. Which we do a jump right there, and we just breeze through the rest of this. Literally straightforward. Alright, so now we're in probably my favorite level of this episode. Well, I can't say that. The next episode's probably my favorite. This is my second favorite level. It's a very non-linear level. You can kind of approach it however you really want, but the way I'm doing it is technically the fastest. If you do find a faster way, though, please tell us. It's a lot of strafe running. Okay. So now we're just going to... I'll fill in the dead space where there's no sounds going on with MP40 fire, just so it doesn't seem like your earphones are going out. Here we go. I'll stop because that's actually kind of getting on my nerves. Yeah, I do like this level in terms of its non-linearity. I mean, I speedrun Marathon. That's a game that's full of non-linearity. Okay, I was not expecting them there. Actually, I was expecting them there. This part can be very bad because you can have at most 4 enforcers. And I already got one. There could be another one around a bend. Luckily, there wasn't. I need to make sure I have enough of this. Which technically I could have took them out with the rocket, but oh well. Alright, so now my favorite level, and this one has a very big chunk of it taken out with a new strat that was found in the last couple of months. This is 4-way chamber. So we're going to play it straight to begin with. We're just going to run down here and die to the enforcer. Let's try that again, shall we? I'm going to pick up some more health. I know where the health is, so that works out. There we go. Sorry about that. It's pollen season where I am, so I have the sniffles. Alright, so we're going to take a detour right here and pick up an asbestos armor. And we're going to come around here. And thank the High Lords above because I did not get an enforcer in this room. Or even worse, 2. Okay. I'm going to just pick up all this just because you're most likely going to get extra life by this point. And there is an off chance you'll die before you actually save. Very slight possibility. Alright. So we just skipped picking up the first key in this level by doing that one jump I did a bit ago. Which saves a good 30 seconds to at most a minute depending on how hosed you get right there. Alright. So now we can pretty much just strafe through the rest of the level. There is a bit of a timing with some fireballs in this next room right here. It starts the timing right when you open the door, so you can kind of time it almost exactly. I didn't get it that time. But yeah, pretty neat. But now we move on to episode 2 boss. This has a pretty, I would say pretty tight God mode cycle. Would you agree, Rip Chip? Depending on how hosed in terms of enemies you get. Okay, so now we're going to head over here to this secret area. And we're going to go for a God mode. And the God mode is really up to what is literally kind of like a slot machine. Guess. It's not really randomized. It's just in a specific order, so we have to time it just right. And we got dog mode. This is the part that can actually take a lot of time in the run. Any of these random power-ups. Come on. Dog mode is nice and all, but I need specifically God mode. Okay, I'm just gonna go straight when that happens. Oh, come on. You're playing me. It's playing me. This is the part of this level that sucks on toast. There we go. And yes, doing all that was technically faster than doing the level as intended. Alright, so this section right here, I'm heading to go grab a key. I can have the possibility of getting stuck in a door on the way back. If I get stuck in a door, that's kind of like a soft lock because I have to literally reload from a save. Well, stop and reload from a save in order to even continue. So, that's pretty bad if that happens. Luckily, that did not happen. And that can happen in any power-up mode, and even in regular mode as well. Did I actually kill? Okay. My messages weren't showing up, so I was kind of confused. Also, the level won't end until your God mode is finished on that level, I found out. Alright, so now we're in episode 3. This has the worst things in the entire game. Robots, enemy. That sums it up in a nutshell. Robots and enemy. Enemy is the worst boss in this game. Robots are the worst enemies in this game, other than the enforcers, obviously. And we're going to start it with Robotrix, which luckily has had a significant time save made to it. We used to fight a whole bunch of enforcers and whatnot. Nope, we just come over here, go through this door, go down this hallway. Blow up a robot. And then we come to here. And about a minute before we would get over here normally, we'd be fighting some enforcers, but luckily, since I found that by actually looking at the maps. Fun fact, looking at these maps is pure torture because everything is a square. You don't know what is what unless you know what to look for. But luckily, my eagle eyes found that there was a secret here. And I could have died there. If you notice, I intersected with a column. That's odd. Anyway, this is a hallway of incredible length. Isn't that neat? And now we're going to take a jump over that column after the hallway of incredible length to come to another hallway of somewhat incredible length, but not as incredible. I'm actually kind of curious to see if I can cut through here. No. I'm fine with that. There's some instances where you can actually cut through the column itself, and it technically would be a quicker ride through if you could do that, but unfortunately I was not able to do it. This level we start out strong with God mode, after going through a somewhat difficult section with a lot of enemies shooting at you. Enemies shooting at you is just not fun. Also, I got stuck for a moment. That would have been bad. Have to make sure I pick up the gold key. I've actually had runs where I forgot to pick up the gold key. This was back when music was still on. So the threat, well, no, God mode doesn't have music. I forgot to, not music. God mode doesn't have elevator music. I forgot to mention that. So in addition to having no music whatsoever, you could just be lucky and pick up God mode every time you go into a level with an elevator. I picked the wrong corner to go in. There we go. I wanted to go through the back end. Alright, so yeah, this level's pretty straightforward. It's hard to talk about levels that are pretty straightforward. I can talk about some of like the mechanics, but other than that, it's kind of hard to explain. This one's kind of easy to explain. If you don't move within 5 seconds, you're dead. Hence the title, Dead in 5 Seconds. And that's an interesting kind of movement right there. Okay, I have to actually be careful now. And then I have to hope I get some good health. Or I actually get a health spawn in this area outside. Did we? Yes, we did. We got 2. What a lucky boy I am. Okay, so now we can head over here. We used to actually take more time in that section, if you could believe that. But then we realized we could just go straight to the end. This part's actually intense, so I'm going to be quiet. Okay. Alright, so now we're in clear and present dangers. This level has had a somewhat significant change in its route. So we used to do a bunch of rocket jumps to get the key, which would involve killing a lot of enemies, including robots. You know, the robots shoot rockets. And, you know, that's dangerous. However, me, in my infinite wisdom, figured out that you can just use dog mode and kind of cheese it. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a moment. I just gotta get over there. Also gonna pick up a full health right here just to be safe, or an extra life just to be safe. I know it seems silly to get extra lives when you have quick saves, but you never know. Alright, so here we go, dog mode. I think this is a pretty tight cycle for dog mode, so I'm going to try to do some jumps over particular items and then do another jump to do multiple crossover. This is the first example, if I can get over this. There we go. I skipped having to jump over the other one and struggle very badly. That principle will be applied right here. Okay, we got the first one. That saves a good amount of time. And we got it twice, so that's good. That's not good, though. Come on. I'm going to have to do the doggo blast, which if we were playing with max violence, they would have blown up in a lot of bits. Like, oh, the gore. Okay. Okay, so the angry quilt, kind of, for the first part, kind of a slow, despite going at the faster than my car in the morning. we're just gonna pick up the key, you know, kind of casually, nonchalantly run over here. Maybe there's a few enemies we gotta defeat, you know. Just taking it easy. Checking right there to see if there's an enemy in the door. And now we're gonna go for God or Dog mode. Whichever one comes first is what I'm gonna go with. If we do God mode, then we'll have a jump. Okay, we got a jump we're gonna do. Technically, I think this is faster just because you don't have to jump over enemies, but it's kind of a to each their own thing. Come on, the doors are being very uncooperative today. Alright. Okay, now we're going to see a God mode jump, which I find these to be neat. We're going to look down, time it, jump over. It's the neatest thing, and I'm the only one that thinks it's like super neat. Come on. I just need to be over there when God mode finishes. Okay. Did that pretty well. I wanted to try to get over to near the end with God mode, but that jump kind of screwed me over. Alright, so I'm actually going to clear out this room of its enemies, just because I really don't want them to be bothering me when I go into this last room. I have to look at everything, gauge which one is kind of synchronized between the first two. And I was a complete idiot. Okay, let's try that again. This time we got the timing just right. Oh wow, are you kidding me? None? That is insane. That's never happened. I've never had that. Never had it where there's no enemies in there. Oh, come on. I do not like enforcers. I hate them so much. Okay. So now we're heading into the second half of this level, which has a lot of jumping and a lot of moving. I somehow did that. I don't understand. Also, my frame rate seems to be suffering on stream. My apologies. Ah, okay. I hope I saved there. That's gonna be fine if I didn't. Okay, I saved there, which is still okay. I didn't time that right. There we go. And then I run through here, run over here. I want to make sure I have that so I can kind of breeze through this a bit better. And the way I'm moving is to make sure that there are enemies that get caught in the back wall whenever possible. Okay. Yeah, I don't need that. Gonna save. Thank goodness I have a mechanical keyboard. Let me retry that because that enforcer was really being an unfair boy. Okay. Well, this enforcer I was kind of expecting. There we go. It's just I approached it completely wrong. Okay, so let's try this again. And I'm gonna have to improvise just a little bit going in. Are you kidding me? Okay. This is why this game can be very frustrating. I'm gonna try that again. Stun lock so they can't get me this time. Door? Oh no, I didn't pick up the key. Okay, let's try that again. It's very easy to forget that to pick up the key. Let's go again. Are you kidding me? Come on! There, I got the key. I can guarantee I got the key. Alright, let's go. Now we're in enemy. I'm either gonna get this really good or I'm gonna be really salty. This is a level I can't. It's impossible not to get salty if this goes wrong. So enemy used to be an anomaly to both me and Rip Chip for the longest time, and it only took going through the game source code to kind of figure out a bit of how the behavior of enemy works. So I'm going to try to summarize it as best as I can. Also, I want to make sure this is open, just so I can grab the Mercury mode that's in this section. I'm going to save. So, how enemy works is you step in its line of sight, it takes a snapshot of where you are, and then it'll attempt to get to said location. So, whenever it sees you, it takes a new snapshot. So, if it's on me there... Oh, okay. I got enough hits on that firebomb that I got it into third phase, so that's good. That's how you can tell you got it in third phase, is because it starts shooting like that. Alright, I need to open this up so I can go grab the Mercury mode on my way back. And then I'll get blasted by enemy. Just watch. Oh, thank goodness. Alright. This is a really intense section. Like, I'm actually sweating bullets right now because this is the worst part of the game by far. But yeah, worst part of the game by far. Not even lying. This boss could take like a minute and a half to like 5 minutes. Just depending on how bad your luck is. Oh man. Oh no. Oh, thank goodness. Missed 3 of the 4 hits that I shot at them. That's insane! Alright, I'm gonna have to go in here. I'm gonna have to improvise. That was insane. Okay. Somehow did not take a hit through all that. Pressure's building. Probably around the bend. Okay, good. Nope, but they're right there. And this is an enemy that likes to move very erratically. So it's really hard to, like... Even if you know its behavior, it still changes it up slightly. So it's just... It's still trial and error, but you at least have some start to it. So now we're in the final episode. I'm actually going to start by going into here, if I could. I want to grab God mode to kind of make this section a bit more consistent. Because... Come on. Of course, the monk got in the way. I'm just going to do it normally. Screw it. You can pick up a God mode in this level, and it makes doing this fairly easier. You don't have to deal with whatever layout of enemies are in the level. You can just get it and go. Okay. Some of these enemies like to drain your health. They make the sound from Marathon 2 for the Volunteers chapter, and the other ones like to do the teleport noise from Marathon 2. I like to talk about Marathon 2, as you can see. Okay. So now we're in this level, and I'm not going to take the elevator just because I really don't want to have to take the elevator each time. Well, I think it's more straightforward if I just pick up dog mode right here. Come on. My fingers got displaced on the keyboard. Durandal, yes. Okay. Fun fact, whenever I play Space Station 13, I name my AI character Durandal. Alright. Also, look at how high I got with that dog mode. Wowzers. Alright, so this is pretty straightforward. Just, you know, run, do some things. We gotta wait for an elevator here, and hopefully we can watch this guard either fall to the ground. Hey, there we go. Let's see if I'm lucky enough to do a jump over this one. Hey-oh. That's the goods. Well, 2, 3. Took 3 blasts. Can you believe it? Hey, at least we got over that first column, though. Okay, so this section I can't actually talk about, so I need to make sure I have a specific amount of health going into this last part, because I need to do a jump over a bunch of columns. I don't think the developers of this game anticipated us doing jumping like this, because it completely breaks the game from how they were intending. But they also added a timer, so I have no clue. Maybe they were expecting us to do that. Maybe they were anticipating speedrunning. But nevertheless, this level has a lot of strafing in and out of things, and I have to do it basically all within one asbestos armor cycle. So, taking a look at my health, I might be able to get away with not healing. Yeah, I should be able to get away with not healing. Yeah, Doom was about going fast. Arcade-type shooters are always about going fast. Which, Doom is technically an arcade-style shooter. Despite having kind of a loose framework of a... Well, I mean, this game technically has a loose framework of a story. It's mostly about doing the things. Okay, this is the same situation as last time. I'm going to go for God or Dog mode, and I got God mode, so... God mode, you don't have the chance of getting caught on enemies, so this kind of works out. The downside is this next room that I'm about to go into has bouncy pads, and I can't avoid getting bounced. So. Why did I do that? Mark that in another chapter of the book called Why Did I Do That? The tbcr story. So now we're in the next part. We're going to do another fun God mode jump. And this one's important because we're not going to have a lot of time when we get over there to do it. So gotta get it in a first couple of tries. And I got it first try, so that's pretty good. Just going to head straight over here. So we're doing pretty good. And there we go. So now we're in Backfire. This is my favorite level. This is also a level that I need specifically God mode for. And it's another randomizer. Could you guess? But the fun thing about this level is I have to do almost the entirety of it within one God mode cycle. So this is going to be pretty intense, and I'm going to be quiet during almost the entirety of it. About said a naughty word there. This is the worst luck ever. There we go. Gonna be quiet now because it's kind of intense. This is gonna be close. Oh. Oh, you don't realize there was like tension building up with that, and oh boy, just the relief I got getting that. Alright, so this is the last main level before the 3 boss levels coming up. The next 3 levels are for just 1 boss, but in 3 phases. Okay. So I'm going to stand here, hit a touch plate, and then try to aim through these 2, and I hit the wall. Okay, let's try that again. Whoa, that was a good try right there. A lot of expert skill right there. And I'm going to take a safety and just go up these jump pads each time. I did not get that. Okay, there we go. This level also likes to make the left side of your screen completely spammed with just messages, as you can see. Okay, so now we're in the final 3 levels of the game. This is the lair of El Oscuro. This is, well, this used to be one of the most annoying levels, just because the last boss level, well, I say that, and I can't be absolute certain because it screwed me over when I was doing a run for another marathon yesterday. But this level should be pretty straightforward. Okay, so we're going to grab a key. We're going to be back over there again soon. What we have to do is we have to go through a pretty intense section in the middle of this. I need to heal, though. I'm going to take some time and heal. I have a feeling this run's going to be kind of getting close to estimate to begin with, so just with how long it took to do enemy. That and all the deaths so far. But, we're going to pick up that key, and now we got to avoid getting blasted by the monks that shoot fireballs. And there are a lot of them. And I somehow avoided that one, so that's pretty good. So now we're going to come back over here. Gonna flex my arms a bit, just because strafing constantly like that can fatigue your arms a bit. Remember to drink water, by the way. Water's good for you. Or if you have a cran grape or maybe an orange juice, you can drink that too. Alright. So I'm going to be over here in just a bit. I just need to set some stuff up. I need to pick up an asbestos armor. And then I'm going to start shooting, because shooting actually starts the boss fight. Okay. So what I'm hoping for is El Oscuro to stand there, and then every time I shoot them with this bazooka, they're going to come back up from their cycle of flying. And what I'm aiming for... Looks like they're having some difficulties. Okay. So this is where I want them. So now they're behind the column. They're in vampire mode at the moment. And I need to start moving to go grab another armor once they get close enough and they're starting to do one of those blasts. I might need to go now. Yeah, definitely need to go now. Okay. And then I'm just going to jump behind this column. And we can be pretty much guaranteed to finish the fight as long as we remember to get back around here. I don't want to do this for all the time because there is a chance for the vampire attack to follow us, so I have to be careful. But this attack and the attack where they shoot a face, that's when they deal the most energy. Also, we just finished. Look how insanely quick that was. That used to take upwards to 3 to 4 minutes for that one fight. Isn't that great? I would say that's worth some value right there. I don't know about you. But lowering that boss fight by any significant amount is just fantastic. And it's what I feel can bring the game down to sub 40. Tom Hall, best final boss. That is correct answer. No, so it took me 4 minutes one time. Just because I was getting the crappiest of luck. Normally it takes like 2 to 3 minutes, but there's a very rare... Oh, I about did a silly. I about did an absolute silly there. Yes, obviously the logic of boss fights. Do the doodad, you do another thing. Let me make sure I hit that touch plate. There's no spider in this one. It's just Snake, Tom Hall. Okay, so essentially what we're needing to do, just like in the remake, we have to destroy these larvae. And once we destroy these larvae, we can truly get the best ending of the game. We will actually get a bad ending if we do not kill all the, or destroy all the larvae. And it will literally outright tell us, you suck. And we will have to start the level over again. Alright. Gonna save. This part can get pretty bad. Well, I've not played the remake all the way through. Plus, it's like 1 in the morning. If you're expecting my brain to be like completely functioning right now, then you got another thing coming. Like, it's amazing I'm able to do this commentary how I've been doing it. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Okay, I have to redo all that. But yeah, it's 1 a.m. where I am, and I am not going to get a lot of sleep, but, you know. I do want to entertain, and let's not do that. Okay, I am actually screwed. Hold on. Holy moly, okay. That's the first time I've seen that. I took a bad situation and I made good out of it. Okay, so anyway, where was I? Anyway, okay, so now we're in the final larva room. I got kind of taken aback for a second. So, what's the best way of destroying larvae? Obviously with a Louisville slugger that magically shoots out baseballs. I don't question this logic, I just go with it. And we're going to be using this Louisville slugger to destroy the final boss. So, this is a getting near the end moment. Alright, I'm going to have to carefully thread the needle here. There we go. No, I want a full one. Thank you. Alright, so get ready because we're getting near the important moment, which is the end of the game. So I need to kind of time this just right so I can get as much of these Tom Hall heads, these limited edition collectible Tom Hall heads, defeated in as few baseball hits as possible. Because as you can see, I only have a finite supply. And it's pretty awful doing it otherwise. Alright, hopefully one more will do it. Time will not end when I defeat. I'll let you know when it is. So, just waiting. We get to see a nice fireworks display, as you can see. What a nice way to finish the penultimate run of this marathon with a nice fireworks display. That's someone's emote on some Twitch stream right there. And time. Now I'm going to play the ending, and it's very important that we watch the ending because I need to make sure that I actually did this correctly. If not, just, yeah, it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure I did this correctly. Alright, as you can see, a lot of explosions. A lot of fun things. As you can see, they're standing. Kind of a weird perspective, but okay. Some humorous lines about budget cuts and whatnot. And then the most important, we have successfully did any percent. There we go. But yeah, I'm surprised I did that underestimate, because considering how bad some of those levels went, I thought we were going to go over. But yeah. This is Rise of the Triad. It is a very fast-paced shooter. It is very long, despite how fast-paced it is. But I think it's a pretty interesting run. So this is TBCR. I'm going to head to bed. And I hope you have a good evening.